It's pretty exciting, though, yesterday. You know, you had to think, oh, my gosh, bases loaded. How are we going to get out of this mess? What were you thinking at the time?
Well, you know, you don't want to walk the leadoff guy, and then you walk another guy, and you got Brett Gardner up, and you're thinking bunt here. We run executed bunt plays all the time. Weren't able to execute it. Like you said, we end up bases loaded, no outs with their big boy up, and yeah, there's a real sense of urgency there.
You couldn't go any farther with any hitter up there, and now you've got Aaron Judge coming up, and anything he hits out of the infield, they at least tie the ball game. Go through that last inning, what you were thinking with Judge up there, and how did we get to the double play?
Sure. Yeah, you go from trying to keep it tied to then trying to prevent losing the game. So obviously you're trying to keep the ball on the ground, preferably to a corner, third base or first base, where you can maybe potentially turn a double play. In my wildest dreams would I have thought that he would have nubbed it back to the pitcher, which ended up being a perfect play for us.
Yeah. Were you communicating with the guys at that point, right before Judge came up there? Were you saying, well, everybody had to come home with the ball? We knew that.
Right. Yeah. You know how it was, or how it is as a catcher. You're always trying to play the next play, and of course, anytime there's a bases loaded situation, you're reminding the pitcher that if that ball comes back to you, let's come home with it. So we have a little signal, and that was really the main communication with Brad. I had kind of played the play extended in my head that if there was a chance to get a guy at third, let's go do it. And as soon as Judge hit the ball and nubbed it back to Brad, I took a peek, and Beckham was going to third base. And the funny thing about it is baseball players instinctually will just go to a base. So Manny and Scope were both going to second. Obviously, Trey was going to first base.
Yeah.
And Beckham went to third base without hesitation.
Did you see the
fired.
runner?
I did.
Did you see the runner? Because the great replay shows the camera right behind you, your head stuck right at shortstop for a tenth of a second, and then boom. There was no doubt in your mind you were going to third base.
Right. I didn't hesitate at all. I made sure to pick him up, and I felt like I had enough time. Because at the end of the day, if you look over there and you see that he's not, you're not going to have a play at third, you can just fire back to first base. But in my opinion, I've never understood why people didn't try that play more often, especially in the situation we were in, because you keep the tying run at second, but more importantly, you keep the winning run at first, versus having the tying run at third, the winning run at second, and a base open. Well, that sounds cool. Like, well, you can still pitch around that guy, but a flare not only ties the game, but it beats you. And how many times did you feel like, I'm sure you had as a catcher, where you had the bases loaded, you may have turned a big double play, you have a base open, you get a flare, and instead of tying the game, you end up walking off the field and losing the game. It's a terrible feeling. So we were lucky to have the play present itself and lucky to execute it.
Well, finish it off with Giancarlo Stanton. At that time, you still have not won the ball game. And what are you thinking when he got, because you guys handcuffed him all season long?
Right.
All series long.
Right. It was a matter of execution. We felt like, you know, he's not seeing it as well as he probably should be. So we really wanted to make sure that we used our strengths. Brad has a great fastball. He's got a great changeup, good slider. He stuck to his strengths there and executed the pitches we need him to execute. And before you know it, what looks like a doom and gloom situation turns into a great win and a great series victory for us.
Yeah, and I got to give the catchers a little credit there, because you pulled him out and took a lot of pressure off that pitcher when you got that guy at third base. That really changed the whole momentum, the whole mental approach to that last day. But congratulations on you. And boy, I'll tell you, the Orioles picked up a game we thought we would never win, especially after being down 5 runs. So let's keep that going.
You got it. Thanks, Rick.
All right, Caleb Joseph, the new boss.